No, no. And I also think, I mean, look, Tracy would be a great Real Housewife of Beverly Hills. I don't know if it's going to happen, but she is a working person. I mean, I love how she also said like, oh, and Dorit saying like the invoice hit her. I mean, I actually said this on the show last week, like how the invoice hit her office and it was flagged. Tracy's like office. It's like a one fucking person, like it's her accountant who's like doesn't look at her bills. Like, what is she talking about? There's no office, there's no staff. I said the same thing. I'm like, what staff is this, Dorit, that's like going over your invoices and approving or disapproving what's paid?
Yeah, what are you
What?
talking about? Like maybe if you're living in the Midwest and you're not savvy, you might be like, okay, I believe that she has a staff. But where we live, we know. Like we know these things that these you don't have a staff. Like you're not
Right.
an A-list person with a staff. And again, Tracy Tudor comes from a very wealthy family. I think her dad built the Getty Center. I mean, they're like she's coming from a lot of money. So I think for her to call her out, it's not about the money. It's about the principle of not paying someone and then wearing head to toe Louis Vuitton, right? I mean, I think that's what her point was.
The people are, listen, for years and years and years, not that it's about me, I have said, I don't understand Dorit's outfits. I have said this for years, 5 years on this fucking podcast. I
Mhm,
don't understand it. I will always say this. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I
mhm,
mean, is she like you can't, this isn't like Marshalls. Like you can't go to Louis Vuitton and walk out with $40,000 of clothes, keep the tags on, wear it once and return it. After you do that twice, Louis Vuitton will say, "Do not shop here anymore." Returns are marked at Louis Vuitton. They're
mhm.
marked at Beaumont. You can't just buy, wear and return. They will not let you purchase it anymore. So she's buying it and keeping it. I don't understand it. I
I don't
just
get it.
don't. I'm sorry. I will never understand this.
I don't get it either. Like in this week's episode, she was wearing like a Chanel couture with the like, I'm like, that stuff's like 40, $50,000. I'm like if Jennifer Tilly wears it, I'm like, yeah, she bought it. She owns it. They want her to wear it. But like, I don't
Right.
think Gucci or Chanel is like, oh, we need Dorit
No.
to wear it. Like,
There's
I don't
no way they're giving her free clothes.
know.
Chanel, no fucking way is giving
No
her free
way.
clothes.
No, absolutely no way. Even when I worked for Michael B. Jordan, Gwen Stefani, Melissa McCarthy, these so like they had to pay retail.
Hmm.
Like lower stuff, sure, like stuff from Nordstrom or even Balmain, but Chanel, Gucci, Louis Vuitton,
No.
you're paying retail. You yes, they will
They
give you
don't want Dory. They don't want any housewife wearing their shit unless it's like,
no,
right, like a Sutton or a Tilly or.
sure, and even then it's borrowed. Like
Mhm.
you're having to give it back. So I don't think they're letting Dory. She's buying that stuff.
Right, which to me means your
It's,
credit card is I'd love to see the balance on her credit card. I just would. I can't help it.
it's insane.
Did you see this? Well, I mean, I've talked about this a lot. What do you think of Tamra and all of her? She quit, she's going back. She has said things like, she's had a breakdown and crumbling and just can't function anymore. There's lots of rumors circulating from the filming of the OC this season. What do you
So
know?
I
What do
mean,
you
obviously
think?
they're in New Orleans, so there must be heavy drinking, partying, whatever. So maybe that's, you know, kind of pushed her into this mode. And then obviously your friend is going through this, very public, talking about her health crisis. And I do feel for Teddy, obviously going through all this. But some of it's like it also feels like entertainment now. Like you're showing us the scars, you're showing us the surgeries. Like it's starting to feel like some medical stuff. I don't mind if it's a bit more private. And now with Tamra, but then Tamra's so calculated. Like literally when she posted that, it was everywhere. So I'm like, did you know you were going to post that and then send it to everyone? Or like, was there an email blast like Tamra's quitting? Because the speed at which it was all posted from the time she put it on her story, you had a press person involved. You knew you were going to post that.
And I've said this before too on this show. I said it a few days ago. Like the problem with it's with all it's not even just Tamara, it's with all these housewives, but Tamara, like it is the little boy that cried wolf. Like that's what Sheena said about Jax. Like these housewives are so emotional over fucking a glass of milk that we can't take you seriously. And you probably are really going through it now because your friend really is facing a major life and death situation. But now no one's so sure. Like we should be sure because you probably are going through it, but No one believes you because we've seen this side of you before, and you also lie. So we
Right.
don't know what to believe.
We don't know what to believe. Before, remember when she said, I'm autistic, that's why I was so rude and I don't apologize and I don't know. That's why I was awful to Shannon. And then it was like, oh no, I only went to one therapist. I don't know if I am. And it's like, what is it, girl? Don't say you're autistic if you're not. Like,
And look, it's not even us. It's like, will Shannon and Gretchen embrace Tamra now and say, wow, I don't think they should. Like, she has fucked over Gretchen so many times back in the day that to me it's like whatever we feel or some people are listening and they're going to side with Tamra, but I think if to me I don't think Shannon and Gretchen, it's like once someone shows you who they are enough, like that's it's like if that's what she's going through, good for her. I wouldn't embrace her if I were Gretchen.
I agree. Same here. Because why? And it's like, and it would also be disingenuous to like, right? To come and say, oh, I'm so, and I could see Shannon coming around but I don't think Gretchen will. Why?
I agree. Shannon will come around before Gretchen.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Did you see this? Well, both Ariana and Tom are doing interviews apparently. Ariana, I think it was in People. I think it was People, where she said that she was never coming back to Vanderpump Rules if it wasn't rebooted and they kept the same cast and the contracts went out. She was never gonna come back regardless. Now, she wasn't in a rude way. It wasn't in a I'm better than you way, but it just didn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense for the story anymore. And so if she got the contract, which let's face it, she would have got it. They all would have got it. She wasn't coming back with Tom and Sheena and all of them. What do you think of this?
Why would she? Like, even when I talked to her, what was it during the pandemic? Like, she was like, I'm on this show because I want to sell a book and I don't like reality TV. I never wanted to be famous. She never she really didn't. Like, she was very clear about the fact that she is actually friends with these people and she's already on the show. And she basically kind of, in so many words, said she's doing it for Tom Sandoval. Like, I'm doing this show because he wants to be on TV. So, like, I'm not surprised that now she's like, okay, well, like nobody can blame me for because I think for her, if she left, she didn't want Lala and Sheena to say, oh, you ruined our livelihood. Like we're mothers and you took our livelihood by ditching us, you know? So this way, it's like, it's nobody's fault. Even if they want to blame her, it's not really her fault. Like, so I think, I don't know, I'm happy that she's saying that. And again, Tom is fine. Tom just did Traitors. He did that Special Forces. Nobody's canceling him. He did this whole interview on Not Skinny But Not Fat, which I do like Amanda, but I'm like, really, girl, why are you giving Tom Sandoval a platform? He's like, oh, Chriselle was so mean to me on Traitors. I'm like, ugh, like no, your victim thing that you've been playing for the last 3 years, like it's kind of getting old. Like you're still getting opportunities, so I don't know what he's complaining about, which I don't really get that. But then her, like she's on Will Trent, she's basically gonna get married to that guy, you know. So
Daniel.
Daniel, her life